Coming to you from the state of Maryland, news, weather, traffic, and more. This is YouTube Recording News on YouTube Recording HD with Malcolm Oliver as a news reporter and a weather reporter. Welcome to the YouTube Recording News. So for today, we are going to be talking about the Howard Street Tunnel Makeover update. Bike lanes in Chesapeake Bay Bridge, Baltimore's light rail resuming service, Maryland's largest airport celebrates 75th anniversary, I-695 construction project to ease Baltimore Beltway traffic by 2028, Six Flags shutting down with the 25th anniversary, demolition of existing Key Bridge expect to begin in July, and MTA announced the temporary closure of Baltimore Metro. Before we get to that, let's do the weather, traffic, Maryland lottery number updates, and the marketing stocks. Today, right here in the state of Maryland this morning, is going to be 80 degrees Fahrenheit, mostly sunny. The air quality, which is going to be 50, wind 5 miles per hour, humidity 82%, feels like 85 degrees, visibility 9.90 mile, UV index nothing, pressure 29.87 inch, and finally with the dew point 74 degrees. So today will be 80 degrees rain showers, but in the meantime 80 degrees Fahrenheit, mostly sunny. And then tomorrow it's going to be partly sunny with 87 degrees. So with the July forecast, listen carefully for the rest of the forecast. Thursday, mostly sunny, 90 degrees. Friday, 88 degrees, sunny. Saturday, mostly sunny with 90 degrees, just like on Thursday. Sunday will be 92 degrees, mostly sunny. Monday will be 93 degrees, mostly sunny. And next Tuesday will be 89 degrees, mostly sunny. On the outer loop and the inner loop on I-695, we have a slow traffic going on. We have a construction zone on different directions. The I-695, which is the eastbound, and on the westbound. So we figured that you should take an alternative route. And also on I-95, on both tunnels, the Fort McHenry and Baltimore Harbor Tunnel, we have a slow traffic as well. And we also have on US 40, there is a slow traffic, and so is I-70. So that's I-70 East. So that's the latest of the traffic all over in the state of Maryland. Here's the look at the latest Maryland lottery number updates. Play the new Let's Make a Deal scratch off from the Maryland Lottery for a chance to win up to $50,000 instantly. When you play a Let's Make a Deal scratch off and you uncover a curtain symbol, visit a Maryland Lottery retailer for a digital review for an instant prize up to $250, or enter a non-winning tickets for a chance to win a VIP trip to Hollywood. And watch Let's Make a Deal every weekday mornings at 10 a.m. on WJZ TV 13 and stream it on Paramount Plus. Here's a look at the latest stockings. A squad of construction workers descend daily under the streets of Baltimore. They labor deep down in the semi-secret and highly restricted chamber known as the Howard Street Tunnel. The massive brick-lined tube, hand-dug in the 1890s under the bed of downtown Baltimore's Howard Street, has been closed to freight rail traffic since February for its complex infrastructure makeover. The work runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Along the way, the tunnel got Wi-Fi and toilets. It's an eerie and oddly cool place, no matter how hot it is upstairs. There is not a trace of graffiti and only the atmospheric smudges of the half-century of locomotive coal smoke color the brick walls. It seems enormous and never-ending. It's meant for heavy business and shares nothing with a traditional highway or subway tunnel. Once this brick-lined tube is deepened and rails relayed, it will be capable of carrying double stacks of steel shipping containers from M&T Bank Stadium to North Baltimore, and a vital connection to Baltimore's Seagirt Marine Terminal intermodal container facility. Dozens of Anne Arundel County biking groups are coming together in an effort to put bikes and pedestrians lanes into the design plans for a new Chesapeake City bridge. The new bridge will replace the existing one with 2 new structures, likely with 8 to 10 lanes for cars as exposed to the existing 5. The Maryland Transportation Authority has proposed including bike and pedestrian lanes, and 56 national, state, and local biking groups released a petition Wednesday to push for these lanes to be included in the bridge design. The Baltimore Light Rail is once again making stops at Penn Station after a nearly 3-year hiatus. The Maryland Transit Administration said the North-South Rail Line, which runs from Hunt Valley in Baltimore County to BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport and Glen Burnie in Anne Arundel County, passes just west of the central Baltimore intercity rail hub. Northbound trains can use a short rail spur to divert from the typical path after exiting the Mount World MICA station, cross Interstate 83 and enter the station. But the MTA had to suspend this service in fall 2022 because of the track and platform work at the Penn Station, which is operated and maintained by Amtrak. This station is the only direct connection point between any of Baltimore's various train lines, long criticized for not integrating with the one another more seamlessly. It serves Amtrak, one of the MTA's marked commuter lines, and the light rail, but not Baltimore's subway. While light rail service was suspended there, riders had to exit the train at Mount World and walk roughly a quarter mile to get to the Penn Station. In late 2023, the MTA shut the light rail line down for 2 weeks after complications with major rehabilitation work on the fleet of 53 light rail vehicles prompted safety concerns. Once the MTA could restore service, it could only do so with a fraction of its train cars. The rehabilitation of the fleet, a standard move to ensure train cars reach the end of their useful life without major issues, was long overdue when private rail company Alstom began reconstructing the vehicles. Problem stemming from the work arose after they began returning the vehicles to Maryland to go back into service. Last year, the federal government rewarded the MTA a $213 million grant to support the purchase of a new fleet of light rail trains, part of a larger modernization effort. Stations will need to retrofit it so that the new trains run smoothly, and crews will replace the Howard Street corridor tracks among other upgrades, but it will be a long wait. The MTA expects to award a contract for the new rail cars by next fall and to begin incorporating them into service sometime in 2031. Baltimore Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport is proud to celebrate its 75th anniversary this year. For decades, the airport has helped shape the growth of Maryland and the National Capital Region, supporting tourism and trade. Since 1950, BWI Marshall Airport has grown into a dynamic international gateway, serving millions of annual passengers and connecting people, businesses, and culture. Originally named Friendship International Airport due to the local Friendship Methodist Church and surrounding community, President Harry S. Tubman officially dedicated this airport on June 24th of 1950, saying it was a emphasize the spirit of growth and confidence with which our country faced the future. Anyone who is traveling Interstate 695 knows all too well about the traffic congestion that comes with rush hours. The State Highway Administration spoke about the reason behind the ongoing construction and how it can provide much needed relief to the traffic heading once it's complete. The multi-year effort is converting the inner shoulder of I-695 into peak hour travel lanes to help ease congestion, but the timeline was pushed back in part due to the tragic 2023 crash that killed 6 construction workers near Security Boulevard. That incident led to a pause in work and prompted stricter safety protocols, including rider buffer zones between the traffic and work crews. Officials say the upgrades are essential. I-695 currently sees around 200,000 vehicles per day, and with a collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge forcing even more drivers onto the Beltway, traffic has only gotten worse. Projections show daily traffic could reach 248,000 by 2044. State Highway Administration Will Pines said the project is designed to improve flow without withering the highway. Once complete, overhead signs like the red X's and green arrows seen on the Bay Bridge will show drivers when the shoulder is open as an extra travel lane. Some of these T-shaped sign structures are already visible along the route. Six Flags America and Hurricane Harbor in Bowie, Maryland will close at the end of the 2025 season, marking 25 years of operation. The decision to close the park along with its adjacent water park is part of the Six Flags broader strategy to simplify operations and focusing on the higher growth parks, according to the Six Flags Entertainment. The 500-acre property will be sold for redevelopment. The Six Flags theme park, with the oldest roller coaster across all its longer, a strategy fit with the company's long-term growth plan. Six Flags America and Hurricane Harbor in Bowie, Maryland, which rebranded and opened as a Six Flag property in 1999, will operate for the final time on November 2nd. Demolition of the existing structures of the Francis Scott Key Bridge is expected to begin on or about July 7th, weather permitting, the Maryland Transportation Authority announced Thursday. MDTA said this is a major milestone in the Key Bridge rebuild project and that the demolition work is expected to take several months to complete. The demolition will involve the use of heavy machinery to dismantle the remaining portion of the Key Bridge. During this phase of the work, portions of the existing structure will be removed that interfere with the alignment of the new bridge. Controlled demolitions will not be used during this phase of the project. MDTA warns that nearby communities should expect active tug and barge operation on the Patapsco River. Machinery used that may include excavators, concrete saws, vacuums, cranes, and trucks, and an on-site concrete crusher. Officials say that noise of typical large construction projects runs from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Before the project begins, MDTA is installing noise and vibration monitoring equipment to capture baseline noise and vibration data. And finally, on this YouTube recording news, the Maryland Transit Administration is temporarily adjusting Baltimore Metro subway service to allow for the testing of new rail cars and train control system. This includes early closure on weekdays, with the final trains departing early than usual. Specifically, on weekdays, the final eastbound train will leave Owens Mills at 10:57 p.m. And the last westbound train will depart from Johns Hopkins Hospital at 11:18 p.m. Weekends and holiday service will also be adjusted, with the final eastbound train departing at 11:05 p.m. and the last westbound train at 11:15 p.m. This testing is part of the larger effort to improve the aging Metro subway system, with 78 new rail cars and an update train control system. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching on this YouTube recording news. As always, we do trust YouTube recording news. We also trust local Maryland news such as WJZ, WBAL, WMAR, and WBFF News. So hope you ladies and gentlemen will have a great day as always.